very sympathetic enough to admit it, towards a struggle enough to regret it. They tell us just to forget it, from the history like no one even met it, but really out there, who do you know would even let it? Now, behind the doors of being trapped in the world with the children of these explorers, where they let them be the drawers, shop in and own the best stores, go on tours, fill their drawers, take the last more, have the nerve to wear a headdress on a dance floor, and then claim property on these clam beds of these ancient shores. Of this social experiment, created for bankers' merriment, the byproduct of Victorian loan schemes and gold rush dreams of embarrassment in an amoral world where sex and rape was barely considered sexual harassment. Am I lying? A foreign land built upon us, beyond hope, treated as floras and faunas, animals like piranhas or salmon in tidal pools, hot like saunas, and wherever the pleasure went, had to have been around the time of our skulls and their measurements, encouraged to treasure it but making us forget to weather it. Now, I'm not religious, but the cross I am forced to bear is dark and it is vicious. The circus thumps on up there and is quite repetitious. The ignorance is like a genie with unlimited wishes, but this is living with families shattered like the past never mattered, falling far from a family tree ever scattered, the remnants of my ancestry looking tattered. Behind glass cases and spaces with security guards to an oasis of connection to a historical basis, axed and hidden right in our faces. Feeling separated as racist displacements, moldy res houses and unfinished basements, classified genocide, now accepted homeostasis, born into traumatized bloodlines of socialized, tempered, or protected societal archetypes of systemic racists. So from this point in time and space, it's the being that I embrace and for whom I take their place and try not to disgrace, a legacy not to deface, all against a system built to erase this hereditary responsibility. It's not a privilege. It's meant to respond with ability. Humility, not futility, turning my inner resources to utility. It's an alchemy of painting these walls with images and using words to build villages. Ancestral stages of pillages, the villainous crimes and spillages like DNA marketed were darknesses, run amok with heartlessness. Commercial sale of bones and heirlooms from the canyon to where the people of the marshes lives. Fast forward to them turning us to narcissists, worshipping mirrors and artists with shape-shifting outfits of artless wit, marksmen, farces of marksmanship, marked with the dark parts of these partnerships, sparked by the visions of warped departments of compartmentalized emotional benchmarks we hit.
Whew.
By genetically connecting to feeling selected, by generations of colonially infected initiatives undetected, by generally publicizing narratives protected, by generationally ostracizing political directives directed, by gene pool policies placing us as pariah inspected, by genome splitting governmental doctrines injected, by generic living bullshit looking doctors feeling indebted, by gentrification. Hipsters are the new missionaries of invention, so why should I let bygones be bygones from a freaking zygote to an icon, selling their lifestyles through shaming and tight jeans and gaming, self-deprecating and naming into awkward disframing, into self-esteem gleams of material ownership and naming, into a style now worn by everyone. You see, these are colonial archetypes now on your individuality. See, it's an unceded territory, but it's a gated community. Separated by culture and income to kingdom, and we've been numb since potlatch bands, forgotten clans without a smallpox immunity. I can't afford my city. I can barely afford my style. I can't afford my own struggle and ask myself sometimes, is it really worthwhile? I've been forced out of culture, forced out of economical Rome. I'm a pillar of my community and I can't even afford a home. It's a sense of humiliation, enraged by institution. A dragon's accumulation, and I ain't asking you for restitution. But for me to stand here and give this oration, sure, powerful performance, creative formation, thoughts, expression, and correlation of understanding indigeneity and being First Nations. Reversing the universe's idea of our existence in creation and challenging the ideas of what art can be in position of narrative relation. And I'm sure there's pedagogy involved somewhere, curatorial classification, and okay from somebody somewhere, and hopefully a little bit of frustration. You see, as we package the past and we sell it as masks and identification, regionally skinned, hung in cultural digestion and appropriations, alongside gentrified and commercialized vehicles, poverty's glorification. Open drug markets serving agencies, serving suffering's monetization. Missing and murdered, not convincing for further inquiries or investigations. Genetically modified racism with all of those product placements.
Whoa.
And all of this, all of this, and I haven't even yet mentioned reconciliation. Thank you.
Wow.